कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे राम हरे कृष्ण राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा सर।
हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू मैम। जय हरे कृष्ण। लेट अस स्टार्ट। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नारायणं नमस्कृतं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयामुदीरयेत्।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भागवते उत्तमश्लोके
भगवते उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवते नैष्टिके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके।
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय
कृष्णाय
भूतले
भूतले
श्रीमते
श्रीमते
भक्तिवेदान्त
भक्तिवेदान्त
स्वामिनिति
स्वामिनिति
नामिने
नामिने।
नमस्ते
नमस्ते
सरस्वती देवे
सरस्वती देवे
गौरवाणी
गौरवाणी
प्रचारिणे
प्रचारिणे
निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे
देशतारिणे
पञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च
सिन्धुभ्यैव च
पतितानां
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमः।
नमो
जय
जय
श्री
श्री
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
चैतन्य
चैतन्य
प्रभु
प्रभु
नित्यानंद
नित्यानन्द
श्री
श्री
अद्वैत
अद्वैत
गदाधर
गदाधर
श्रीवासादि
श्रीवासादि
गौरभक्त वृंद।
गौरभक्त
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा
कृष्णा कृष्णा
कृष्णा
हरे
कृष्णा
हरे
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 राम
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 हरे हरे।
हरे हरे
We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam 10 to 10, chapter 9. Mother Yoshada winds Lord Krishna, text number 19. एवं सन्दर्शिता ह्यङ्गा
एवं सन्दर्शितार्यङ्गा
हरिणाभृत्य
हरिणामृत्यावश्यता
श्ववसिनापि कृष्णेन
स्ववशनापि कृष्णेन
यस्येदं सेश्वरं वसे
स्वेदांसेश्वरं वशे
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
जय
Translation: O Maharaj Parikshit, this entire universe with its great exalted demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma and Lord Indra is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 8. The Supreme Lord has one transcendental attribute. He comes under the control of his devotees. This was now exhibited by Krishna in this pastime. Purport: this pastime of Krishna's is very difficult to understand, but devotees can understand it. It is therefore said, Harshayamstad vidam loka atmano bhaktavashyatam. The Lord displays the transcendental attribute of coming under the control of his devotees, as stated in Brahma Samhita 5.35. एकोऽप्यशो रचयितुं जगदण्डकोटिं यच्छक्तिरस्ति जगदण्डचयायतन्तः अण्डान्तरस्थपरमाणुचयान्तरस्थं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. By his one plenary portion as Paramatma, the Lord controls innumerable universes. With all their demigods, yet he agrees to be controlled by a devotee. In the Upanishads, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead can run with more speed than the mind. But here we see that although Krishna wanted to avoid being arrested by his mother, he was finally defeated and Mother Yashoda captured him. Lakshmi Sahasra Satasambhrama Sebhyamanam. Brahma Samhita 5.29. Krishna is served by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. Nonetheless, he still sputtered like one who is poverty stricken. Yamaraj, the controller of all living entities, fears the order of Krishna. Yet Krishna is afraid of his mother's stick. These contradictions cannot be understood by one who is not a devotee. But a devotee can understand how powerful is unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. It is so powerful that Krishna can be controlled by an unalloyed devotee. This Vrityavashyata does not mean that he is under the control of the servant. Rather, he is under the control of the servant's pure love. In Bhagavad Gita 1.21, it is said that Krishna became the chariot driver of Arjuna. Arjuna ordered him, Senayurubhayormadhe ratham stapayamechyuta. My dear Krishna, you have agreed to be my charioteer and to execute my orders. Place my chariot between the two armies of soldiers. Krishna immediately executed this order, and therefore one may argue that Krishna also is not independent. But this is one's ajnana, ignorance. Krishna is always fully independent. When he becomes subordinate to his devotees, this is a display of Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, the humor of transcendental qualities that increases his transcendental pleasure. Everyone worships Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he sometimes desires to be controlled by someone else. Such a controller can be no one else but a pure devotee. Hare Krishna. Vinit.
Hare Krishna, sir. Hare Krishna, sir. Nemam virancho na bhavo
Nemam
Nenam
virincho
virancho na bhavo.
nabhavo
na srir apyanga shamsraya
na
Nasir
srirapyanga
apyanga
samsaya.
samsraya.
le bhire gopi
Prasadam
Prasadam
levire
levire
gopi
gopi.
yattat prapa vimuktidat.
yat yat
Yat yat
prapa
prapa
vimuktidat.
vimuktiya.
Translation: Neither Lord Brahma, nor Lord Shiva, nor even the goddess of fortune, who is always the better half of the Supreme Lord, can obtain from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the deliverer from this material world, such mercy as received by Mother Yashoda. Purport: This is a comparative study between Mother Yashoda and other devotees of the Lord. As stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 5.142, Ekale Ishware Krishna Ara Sabhavritya. The only Supreme Master is Krishna, and all others are his servants. Krishna has the transcendental quality of Bhritya Vashyata, becoming subordinate to his Bhritya or servant. Now, although everyone is Bhritya and although Krishna has quality of becoming subordinate to his Bhritya, the position of Mother Yashoda is the greatest. Lord Brahma is Bhritya, a servant of Krishna, and he is Adi Kavi, the original creator of the universe. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kabya. Nonetheless, even he could not obtain such mercy as Mother Yashoda. As for Lord Shiva, he is the topmost Vaishnava. Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu. What to speak of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva? The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is the Lord's constant companion in service, since he always associates with his body, but even she could not get such mercy. Therefore, Maharaja Parikshit was surprised, thinking, what did Mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaja do in their previous lives by which they got such a great opportunity, the opportunity to be affectionate father and mother of Krishna? In this verse, there are three negative pronouncements. Na, na, na. When anything is uttered three times, do it, do it, do it. One should understand that this is meant to indicate great stress on a fact. In this verse, we find na levire, na levire, na levire. Yet Mother Yashoda is in the supermost exalted position, and thus Krishna has become completely subordinate to her. The word Vimuktidat is also significant. There are different types of liberation, such as Sayuja, Shalokya, Sarupya, Sarshati, and Shamipya. But Vimukti means a special mukti. When after liberation one is situated on the platform of Prema Bhakti, one is said to have achieved Vimukti, a special mukti. Therefore, the word Na is mentioned. That exalted platform of Prema is described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Prema Puma Artho Mahan. And Mother Yashoda naturally acts in such an exalted position in loving affairs. She is therefore a Nitya Siddha devotee, an expansion of Krishna's Ladini potency. His potency to enjoy transcendental bliss through expansion, who are special devotees. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Prati Bhavita Bhi. Such devotees are not sadhana siddha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Kundan.
Hare Krishna, sir. Nayam sukhapo bhagavan
Ayam
Ayam
Sukhapo
Sukhapo
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Dehinam gopika sutta
Dehinam
Dehinam
Gopika
Gopika
Sutaha
Sutta
Jnaninam chatma bhutanam
Jnaninam
Jnanam
Chatma
Chatma
Bhutanam
Bhutanam
यथा भक्ति मता इह
Yatha
Yatha
Bhakti
Bhakti Matamiha.
Matamiha.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda, is accessible to devotees engaged in spontaneous loving service, but he is not as easily accessible to mental speculators, to those striving for self-realization by service, austerities, and penances, or to those who consider the body the same as the self. Purport. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the son of Mother Yashoda, is very easily available to devotees, but not to tapasvis, yogis, jnanis, and others who have a worldly concept of life. Although they may sometimes be called Sant Bhaktas, real bhakti begins with Dasya Rasa. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 14:7, ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तं तथैव भजमह्यहम् मम ब्रत्मानुब्रन्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वश as living entities surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follow my path in all respects, O son of Partha. Everyone is seeking Krishna, for he is the super soul of all individual souls. Everyone loves his body and wants to protect it because he is within the body as the soul, and everyone loves the soul because the soul is a part and parcel of the super soul. Therefore, everyone is actually seeking to achieve happiness by reviving his relationship with the super soul. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedascha sarver aham eva vedaya. By all the Vedas, it is I who am to be known. Therefore, the karmis, jnanis, yogis, and saintly persons are all seeking Krishna. But by following in the footsteps of the devotees who are in a direct relationship with Krishna, especially the inhabitants of Vrindavana, one attains the supreme position of association with Krishna. As it is said, Vrindavanam Prati Pratyajaya Padam Ekam Na Gachati. Krishna does not leave Vrindavan even for a moment. The Vrindavana Vasi, Mother Yasoda, Krishna friends, and Krishna conjugal lovers, the younger gopis with whom he dances, have very intimate relationship with Krishna, and if one follows in the footstep of these devotees, Krishna is available. Although the Nitya Siddha expansions of Krishna always remain with Krishna, if those engaged in sadhana siddha follow in the footstep of Krishna's Nitya Siddha associates, such such sadhana siddha also can easily attain Krishna without difficulty. But there are those who are attached to worldly concept of life. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, for example, have very prestigious position, and thus they have the sense of being very exalted Iswara. In other words, because Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are guna guna avatara and have exalted position, they have some small sense of being like Krishna. But the pure devotees who inhabit Vrindavana do not possess any bodily conception. They are fully dedicated to the service of the Lord in sublime affection. Prema Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore recommended Prema Pum Artho Mahan. The highest perfection of life is Prema. Pure love is relationship with Krishna, and Mother Yashoda appears to be the topmost of devotees who have attained this perfection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vijay.
Hare Krishna, sir. Krishnastu griha kriteshu
Krishnastu
Krishnastu
griha
griha
kriteshu
kriteshu
Vyagrayam matari prabhu
Vyagrayam
Vyagrayam
Matari
matari
Prabhu
prabhu
Adrakshidorjuno purvam
Adrakshidharjuno Purvam
Guhako dhanatatmajo
Guhyako Dhanadaatmajo.
Adhanadaatmajo.
Translation: While Mother Yashoda was very busy with household affairs, the Supreme Lord Krishna observed twin trees known as Yamalaj Arjuna, which in a former millennium had been the demigod son of Kubera. Hare Krishna, sir.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So we'll stop here. So very
Sir,
beautifully.
sir, one verse और बचा है sir.
One more bacha hai.
हाँ sir.
Okay, then I will read it out. 23. Pura Narada Shapena
पूरा
Pura
नारद शापेन
Naradapena
Rukshatam Prapito Madat
vrikshatam
भिक्षातां
prapito
प्रापितो
madat
मदात्
Nalakubaramani Griva
नालकुपरमणिग्रीवा
Iti Kyato Sriyanvito.
iti
इति ख्यातो
ख्यातो
श्रियान्वितो.
Translation: In their former birth, these two sons, known as Nalakubera and Manigriva, were extremely opulent and fortunate. But because of pride and false prestige, they did not care about anyone, and thus Narad Muni caused them to become trees. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 10th canto, 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Mother Yashoda Binds Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, very beautifully explained Srila Sukadev Goswami. The quality of Lord Krishna, qualities of Lord Krishna. This is one of the quality of Lord Krishna. Vritya Vashyat. Vritya Vashita. So he becomes controlled by his own devotees. Like because Krishna is the supreme controller, na? Ishwaraha Parama Krishna is the supreme controller. Brahmaji confirms. Ishwaraha Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaranaka. So Krishna is the supreme controller, but sometimes Krishna wants to be controlled. And who will control Krishna? So therefore his devotees, he comes under the control of his devotees. So therefore we can see here, like Prabhupada gives example, that like there is a big personality on the material platform, even we have seen, like suppose a big personality like the president of US or president of India or prime minister of India, whoever. When they are in office, everybody respects as the supreme person of the country. He is the controller, he is now. But when he comes to home, sometime his grandchildren, they make them horse and they ride on him. And he takes pleasure in it. He doesn't say that, oh, I am the president. How can you ride on my back as a horse? No, he takes pleasure in that. Even in the material platform, we see because there is a mellow on the material platform, even, and there is a mellow between the grandchildren and the grandfather. Similarly, what to speak of the mellows of Krishna? The mellows of Krishna, it is very difficult to understand. Very, very difficult. So therefore Krishna, though he is the supreme personality of Godhead, from him millions and millions of universes come out, and he is controlling everything, he is cause of all causes, but still he has this quality. He wants to be controlled by his devotees. That is what Srila Sukadeva Goswami is very clearly explaining, and Prabhupada is giving very beautiful purport in it. That Krishna is with love, he can be controlled by his devotees. And here again Srila Sukadeva Goswami confirming that Mother Yashoda's position is very, very exalted. No? Yashoda Mahabhaga, in the previous verses, somewhere Sukadeva Goswami mentions. So Mother Yashoda is very, very fortunate. Even Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, all the demigods, we see their positions are not comparable with Mother Yashoda's position. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, they aspire for this. Therefore, Prabhupada is explaining that because Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, they are also greatest of the Vaishnavas. They are the Mahajanas. But still they did not get that fortune what Mother Yashoda is getting. So therefore Prabhupada is explaining that Mother Yashoda is not an ordinary platform. She is Nitya Siddha. Nitya Siddha devotee. That is what Prabhupada is explaining. Who are Nitya Siddha? Nitya Siddha devotees are those who are actually the expansion of Krishna, personal expansion of Krishna. From the Hladini potency of Krishna, they expand like Mother Yashoda, Radharani, and many gopis, gopas. There's a personal expansion of Krishna, and they give pleasure to Krishna in different melodies. But here Prabhupada is explaining another point that we must follow the footsteps of Nitya Siddha devotees because sometimes Sadhana Siddha devotees also they can also achieve this platform of re-establishing their relationship with Krishna. They can release that meloge through sadhana, sadhana siddha bhaktas. And therefore Prabhupada is explaining that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also given this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita saying, Gopi Bhratru Padakamalayur Dasha Dashanudasha. Now we must become servant of servant of servant of servant of all these Brajavasis. They are so fortunate. So therefore, it is very, very important to understand here that we must engage ourselves in the service of the devotees in order to get or in order to attract the mercy of Krishna. This is very important in our life. And then Srila Sukadeva Goswami is describing to Parikshit Maharaj that as Mother Yashoda, she bound Krishna by the rope with the grinding mortar. She left for household affairs, and then Krishna immediately looked at the two Yamalarjuna trees, and that is in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. And he looked it and he understood that these are two demigods, and they were previously cursed by Narada Muni, and it is the time for their deliverance. And they both are Nala Kubera and Manigriva. They both are the sons of Kubera, the greatest treasurer of the demigods. And because of their popped off prideness, they did not care at all to sadhus, the devotees, to anybody else. So therefore, Narada Muni, in order to bring them to the proper platform, he cursed to these two boys. So therefore, cursing of the devotees not sometime, it is always. Cursing of the devotees always actually, it is beneficial for us. It is like a boon for us. It is like a mercy for us. If we are actually degrading gradually, and when a devotee sees that it needs to be rectified and he curses us, chastises us, that is actually boon for us, that is mercy for us. And there was an instant I am remembering, I will tell you. It is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing before the cart of Lord Jagannath, he was dancing like anything. And everybody wants to see his dancing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dance. Even the king at that time, Prataprudradev, he was also a great devotee of Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he also wanted to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing. And along with his secretary, he was actually standing just to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing. And just before the king, Srivas Thakur came, because everybody is in dancing condition sometime. Many devotees, they come across, they stand. And Srivas Thakur came and stand before the king. And the secretary of the king, he immediately, what he did, he actually just patted on the backside of Srivas Thakur. And Srivas Thakur was in ecstasy and seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dance and in Kirtan. So immediately he turned back and he thought, who is tapping me many times? Then he gave a slap because he doesn't want to be disturbed. And the secretary of the king became very angry. He told, wow, how he can slap me. Yeah? Then the king consoled him. Told, don't worry, my dear friend. You are being slapped by a great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is a mercy. Accept this as a mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Don't worry. So this is what actually we'll read about the beautiful pastime of Narada Muni, how he cursed. There are many teachings in it. In the next chapter, chapter number 10, a lot of teachings are involved in it. How Nala, Kubera and Manigriva, they became trees. We'll read that, read this pastime, very beautiful pastime, and next day, tomorrow. So thank you very much.